So, hi there, and I hope you've been well, because I haven't, I think. Anyway, so this is about the Wheel of Names app, and I know you've been waiting for this. The next thing on the list is the UI, so here's the video with the UI. So on the topic of the UI, stuff was great. I did a lot of things, changed some libraries. I changed from auto router to go router because, long story short, I don't like auto router anymore. Personal beef with it, actually. I've implemented the whole UI, okay, maybe without one screen or two. And let's go through everything, right? I think you so far know some stuff about what happened here, and you can check out my last video to see how I got the UI. Spoiler, I paid someone on Fiverr to do so. So, yeah, that's no longer a clickbait. But you can see my discussion with him, the design finals. I can show you the finals here as well, but I will show them in format of an app. So let's start that. I'm making the font bigger just for you. I hope I'll remember to redo it after this. Okay, so let's just rewind and look at the first screen. So let me show you actually on my real device that I'm testing on. I'm testing on an S10. So screen copy, we'll open my S10 here on my screen, and then we're just gonna edit here. That's not how I develop most of the time. Usually I just use that vertical screen here for the designs and emulator or real device in this case, because as you can see, it's here. We have the app. In the previous video, I'm sure I told you about the DI, the router, which I changed. Shocker. I just said it. I changed it to Go router. And these are my routes. Oh, these are the leftovers from my auto router. So this is the router for, I guess, let's just rerun the app. So we'll have it as a main screen. Uh, I mean, starting with the main screen. Okay, so the app ran. We are welcomed with hello, my name Kodruts, and spin the wheel to get started. These are my debug labels because I am using debug labels for everything. I mean this text because I want to know if everything fits or if short, long text fits well. Anyway, and we have the navigator itself, um, or I mean the bottom navigation bar, which handles the navigations between uh, our three main screens, which is home, where you see the wheel. We'll get to that in a second. Um, Chores list, the to-do list or whatever, where we have the list of stuff we can do. As you can see, they're not linked together because I don't want to link them yet. I said I will only do UI for this video, so it won't take me all the time to build the app. And then we have settings. Um, Settings has rooms and members. Members is, so it should be the same as rooms as looks. So it's good. This is a tab view. So anyway, um, by the way, if you want to, I don't know, spin, no, we don't spin yet. If you want to have this screen, the chores list, and you press new chore, you're navigated to the add chore page, which is again not done yet because I didn't have enough patience to do so before making the video. Um, we go back to home screen. We do whatever here, blah, blah, we go into settings. When we go back to the chore screen, we'll still be at the add chore. That's why I wanted to use this fancy router, Go router with nested navigation. As you can see here, it's shell navigation that I implemented based on a tutorial that I liked. So yeah. Also, if you pressed here again, you just go back. It's literally just going to the root of the branch because I can see, we start with the navigation. We have three paths. three main paths that were going on. So it's wheel, it's chores list, and it's settings. From each one of these, uh, you are the root of the navigation because there are three navigators basically. Four with the main one, if you want to say that. And each one builds different page. So this is the wheel builds home page, chores list builds chores list page, and settings page, of course. But in chores list, you can also add a chore. So if you want to add a chore, you go to the add chore page, which is here. And that is another sub route, basically the child of the chores list route. Just wanted to mention this. I really like this kind of navigation, and I really do not like when other Flutter applications or React Native applications don't do this. Um, it's usually those kind of applications because in native people take more care about the experience of the user, in my opinion. Just don't crucify me for this, but yeah, usually Flutter applications are not that polished for some reason. Okay. Okay, so I told you about the router. As you can see, I still have the comments from that tutorial. Um, Gonna let them here. They don't make any difference for me. Okay. I actually think this router gr doesn't have anything to do with us anymore. Um, First of all, widgets. Then we have the common package. So the common package, in the UI spectrum, uh, because it has common like the module exports and the logger, which we're not using yet, the module exports for some reason. Again, something to note that I'm lazy. Um, okay, so we care about the UI. In the UI, we have the theme. So this is the general theme of the application that we want to use instead of using custom colors every time or making a constant class with all the colors. So we add all the colors here uh, in the sense that Flutter wants us. So we basically organize it in the theme data class, which will be injected in the context of every widget. So font family is Poppins. You can probably see that I added fonts here, Poppins, with some variations. So they're there. Visual density standard, that's standard. We just don't want everything more crammed together or with more negative space. Then we set the colors. I did everything based on the Figma design, so we don't have to, stress over that. I was just careful enough to extract everything in the right way, not just use random names for the colors. Anyway, after the theme, we have, let's say, buttons. So we have the outline button. Let's see where we use this one because I'm trying to act at least a bit as if it's the first time I'm seeing this code. Um, so we navigate together. So let's go into outline button. Outline button is used in page. What kind of page? Features settings page. So feature settings page, and it's account settings. This is outline button. What does it do? Nothing so far because it doesn't even have an on tap added here. How would we do that? Like make it a proper button? We would just on pressed on tap actually. Let's say on tap. Declare here a final void callback for now. Uh, on tap and add it as a formal or a required parameter. And there we go. If it's required, then we have to pass something to on tap, which will be an empty function. Done. Now it's tappable. It does nothing. We can print hello. And if we open the console, it says hello. Okay, not gonna be doing this for all the other stuff, but yeah. Then we have the plus button, which is the add room button that you saw before here as well. So yeah, um, how do we see that? Plus button, let's see where it's used in rooms and in page. Which page? Chores list page. Um, and it's a very good kind of button. Nothing fancy, just a row with the plus button and the text that is provided by the user when it tries to use it. A gesture detector on top. We don't use fancy stuff like Inkwell or any other stuff because it doesn't make sense. We have the on tap here, and also box decoration on the container to have the primary color, as you can see here, and also rounded borders because for some reason our designer thought that most of our stuff has to have rounded borders. Bottom navigation bar. So I have been driven mad by the bottom navigation bar in Flutter because for some reason I even made a comment on Stack Overflow about this, or on Reddit. I think on Reddit. No, on GitHub. I even made a comment on a thread on GitHub for where other people were complaining about this. And the problem would be that the bottom navigation bar would have labels. So right here underneath the icon of each tab, I guess, would add some other small little thing that is a text, which would be the label of it, which doesn't appear here because I made it custom completely. And if you would try to hide the label of active and inactive icons, um, well, shocker, it will still reserve some space for the text on iOS. On Android, it would work perfectly, but on iOS, I don't know. So yeah, I decided to make it my own. Very easy. It's just a row with three buttons that are that have icons. Um, those icons are provided by me in a set. So the first set is the home and home filled. So you can see this is home filled. Same with the other ones, and you just render it if it's active or not. Okay, and also how you would use the bottom navigation bar is you would pass set active index callback, a function that takes an int, and also the active index, because this is a stateless widget, um, when you would make this the main scaffold of the application. Um, so basically here in the router, because I didn't move them. Then we have a card, and it's a chores card. I don't know if why I didn't name it chores card. Let's repair my bad deeds and call it chores card. Perfect. And yeah, as you can see, I called four of them in the chores list page. So they are these. So we have a date, an assignee, a title, and this thing here. Let's look at the code. So I made it manually because I didn't want to use the list tile from Flutter. Custom is always better, in my opinion, when you have custom stuff to do, not just small little small presentation apps, I guess. Then we have this custom checkbox that is based on our custom assets. So we have checked and unchecked, as you can see. Um, this is not its final version. It should have state, but not right now. For now, they're checked. Then the drop down. Here we have a drop down that I used the drop down button 2 library. I can, this is the application. This is the library. I just customized one of them. You can find it here. You can go on GitHub and look at it. That's not some big deal. Room card. Let's see where room card is used. It's in rooms.dart. So it's in settings, subpages, rooms.dart. So it's basically in the settings, and these are the subpages. These are basically what you would call in Android fragments. And I think I actually did call them fragments. Yeah, rooms fragment. Um, because it's a sub page that you would render on tab 1 or on tab 2 here, because on the other fragment, members fragment, is just the placeholder, this. So yeah, we're in rooms fragment. Rooms card has the add room button. Let's find it. So rooms fragment has the add room button, which should be here, plus button with L room add room, and then some cards just to see how it looks if you scroll up or down. Okay, the theme we've talked about. Data model repository, we can talk about that later. And then we could go to, also I'm using a plugin. Let's see if we can find it. Plugins, it was there. I'm using a plugin to manage assets. So it's basically Flutter assets generator, and it automatically generates this assets file. I like using it. Um, Maybe not the best option ever, but whenever you add something in the assets folder, this gets refreshed and you have all your assets ready to go with you. Also, you can use it then like this without trying to, write everything like the path, because it does it for you. Okay. Um, for internationalization, I'm using the Flutter INTL package. Basically, um, this gets generated automatically into this if I use the Flutter Gen L10N, like this thing what you see here. And it automatically generates this thing that you've seen me use. So L10, which L10 is context.l10, which is automatically added to the context. Quite neat. Now let's just take a look at our features and pages, because UI is all we care about. No state, nothing else. And let's try to do a breakdown of our pages here. We're going into features, and let's start with the home page. So, page homepage. First of all, we have the home view, the home page, and the home view. Home page generates first the home qubit, which it gets from Gedit. I want to remind you that this is a factory, so it every time this is called, it creates a new instance of home qubit. This is not relevant for our, root pages of the application, but later on when we have multiple sub pages in the application, you want this to be a factory so you don't reuse the same qubit, because once you've closed qubit and you try to emit on it a new state, it will crash your application. It is intended because you don't want to emit on an empty state or on a dead qubit, honestly. Um, so how you do this is in DI, you register a factory rather than register a singleton or whatever you could register here. Let's see what options are. So register lazy singleton, register singleton. Yeah, basically the two options, I guess. Okay, so first of all, we have the page. It has, as you would probably expect, a scaffold with no app bar, a safe area because we don't want to go into these parts or these parts when we use the application. We don't want anything drawn underneath the elements on the screen, or even if you have a foldable screen, it will take care of those as well. So thumbs up here. Then we have a column with vertical padding. Do we need this? Then we have a padding and we add like 20 to the top of and bottom just to squeeze everything a bit so it's not so much negative space. And we want to have a column with space between because we want equal spacing between every element. Then we use the circle avatar with the foreground image set on our current profile picture for the application, but as we are not registered because we don't have accounts or anything, it's just gonna be the Flutter logo. But you don't have to do the clip or rect with everything like 50, I mean round, whatever, because it's already done in Circle Avatar. Then we have these texts and the wheel. And I know you're interested in the wheel, so let's get into it. Basically, I'm giving this and I can spin. It's already chosen the answer, and the answer is this is a sample text. You could do this by clicking, or you could do this by actually spinning. Let me, bam. See, you can do that. Um, the phone vibrates actually for each time it this passes one of these lines. Okay, let's go into it. So it's a stateful widget that uses a library that I found, which is Wheel of Fortune, which is an amazing library because it's extraordinarily customizable. I don't like how it renders text, but we can get around that later on, or just consider okay for now and maybe update it later. So first of all, we have a broadcast kind of stream that we will add every time that we would add 2 every time we want to choose something. And we have it of int because we're gonna choose the position on the wheel rather than the text, because it doesn't make sense to, text. Um, this is animating, is set so we don't spin over and over while it's spinning already. So yeah, we'll wait for the animation to finish and just then we're gonna spin again. Also, we did nothing so far when the wheel stopped spinning. We just know that something came up. Let's see. I don't think. Okay, animation is done. Okay. So as I said, with handle roll, so basically when you click the spin button, it will handle roll, and handle roll does select a random integer in the length of the selection list. Um, so basically, if here are like 15 items, it will give us a random number between 0 and 15. Then, basically, then there is a fortune wheel in a stack. I Then you may see 2 stacks here. So yeah, I did this just so we can have these outer layers from here, and also to have the spin button in the middle of it because that's how our designer designed it, and we want to follow everything perfectly. Um, so first of all, we want to have the wheel in a square. So that's why is media square of width for both width and height. Because as you can see here, this is a perfect circle if we enclose it into a square and give it a border radius of some thousands. It can be 100, and I think it's good enough. No, no, it's actually, it should be closer to infinity. And then we gave it the disabled color. So as you can see here, this is the thing that we are coloring. Then the first thing in the actual stack is the fortune wheel, or actually the stack that holds the fortune wheel that has the button on top of it. Because as you can see here, this is the spin button. Um, it's big, but it works. So let's look at the wheel. So it's just trying to get a fortune wheel from the library fortune wheel, align it in the center, uh, give it the selected stream, and it will be listening on the stream. Um, on start, on the end of animation. On animation end is actually where we're gonna do the fancy stuff that we're gonna do. But this is because that will be the extracted thing. Fortune indicator is this thing, and we have it as a triangle. We can just move it so you can see. Okay, it's gone. It's you see, it's that one. There are other kind of indicators. I curious where I can find them. Anyway, the styling of it, and yeah, that's it. Then let's close everything and go to the second one. Chores list is this page that actually, for now, it has an app bar which holds this to-do list. And as you can see here, it's gone big and bold and everything, and I didn't have to do anything to the text, then add the text itself, the to-do list text. This is because, as I mentioned before, if you go into the common UI theme, we can see the app bar theme was already set before, so I don't have to do it over and over and apply it, or not even fetch it and add it, because it's already added. Center title, no. Spacing 24. This is referring to this space, so if I say 0, it's gonna go to the start of it. Okay, then we have a column at the center that has a list view, basically, with the chores. Then we have a centered column uh, in the next part of the page, which is basically the whole page, or what's left of it, with, first of all, some spacing, then the plus button with new chore that goes to this page, that, by the way, um, kept the state, but this is intended for other reasons. Um, Size box, again, drop down. This could actually have been a padding, which would be symmetric vertical 24 instead of just adding 2. And same result. Then we have the list view, which is expanded and has a shrink wrap. The drop down button actually, yeah, you can choose whatever, but nothing will change here. It's basically the to-do list for all the chores. It's basically the room in which the chores are. So this should be dynamically controlled, this list. Um, then we have the chores card that we already talked about. So yeah, this is it here. And then the settings page, which is basically the same thing, but it's the other kind of card, which is the room card that we've talked about before. And maybe it would be interesting to look at the code for this part. So the fragments thing that I talked about. So everything starts basically from expanded. So expanded takes the whole part of here, everything that is left of it, and then we have a default tab controller to wrap everything we want in. So what we will wrap in this will be a tab bar with the two tabs, which are rooms and members that you can see here. The styling of it is pretty easy to figure out. And then the top bar view, which is the bottom part, basically what this placeholder holds. So for the rooms fragment, as I talked about before, it's a list view, and for the other one is just a tab bar. Okay, so this was a long video, but I explained basically everything I've done. If you have any questions, please do leave them in the comments. Next up, I'm gonna be trying to implement the everything what's left of the app. So I don't know. I'll set some goals for myself to add more stuff. Because have some other freelance projects that I need to take care of, and also my website that I haven't been taking care of. Well, thanks for watching, and yeah, check out the other videos in the series. So to be, connected to the application I'm doing. At the end of everything, this will be on the app stores, so you'll be able to download it if you don't want to just install it yourself. And also, I cannot wait for the ads thing to be added because it would be the first time I'm implementing ads in a Flutter application. Most of the time, I was implementing in-app purchases from the start, without any potential of deleting ads. Okay, thanks. Bye.